Welcome back inside the headquarters, everyone. Rory McGorn with you for another edition, and now the second official episode of the Debrief here as we break down the weekend that was for the Northeast Generals. Take a look, of course, across the North American Hockey League, and very excited this episode to welcome in our first official guest of the Debrief, newly committed Williams College, Spencer Hirsch, will join us later on in the show. First off, hope everyone braved and stayed warm throughout the crazy winter storm that swept through the country and dumped, about 2-3 feet of snow here in the Massachusetts area. Obviously, the Northeast Generals took on the Maryland Black Bears. They expedited that second game in order for Maryland to get home on time and still on safe roads, which they did, thankfully. But yeah, it was a great weekend of hockey. The Northeast Generals lost the first game 3-1 against the top team in the North American Hockey League, a team that's only lost 4 times in regulation through, at that point, 39 games in the regular season. And then a huge bounce-back victory for the Generals, defeating the Maryland Black Bears 7-2 on Saturday night. We have highlights and all the goals for you in both of the games, both on Friday and Saturday in Canton. But first, let's take a look at the entire scores of the East Division here in the North American Hockey League. Starting with Friday's results, as you see there, we mentioned the Maryland Black Bears. They pick up another victory to remain in the top seed in the North American Hockey League. 3-1 over the Northeast Generals. The Danbury Hat-Tricks 4-1 up on the New Jersey Titans, keeping the Titans at the time 2 points back of the Northeast Generals for 4th and 5th in the East Division, respectively. We'll take a look at your standings coming up in a little bit. This was the shocker of Friday night. The 10th seed in the East Division shutting out, and quite handedly, 5-0 at home. The New Hampshire Mountain Kings defeat the Maine Nordiques, second place in the East Division, by that 5-0 shutout score. 5-2 for the Philadelphia Rebels over the Elmira Aviators, and then 5-0 the Rochester Americans. Another victory, another shutout victory as they take out the Johnstown Tomahawks. That was Friday night. We'll then turn towards Saturday night. 4 games in action in the East. The Danbury Hat-Tricks and New Jersey Devils again, but this time it was New Jersey coming out on top. So both games ended in regulation between those two sides, both teams picking up 2 points, 5-2 on Saturday night. The biggest win, potentially, with the Northeast Generals, 7-2 over the Maryland Black Bears. They've now defeated every team except for one in the East Division, except for the Maine Nordiques, who they'll play 3 more times throughout the remainder of the season. 21 games, I believe, left for the Northeast Generals. But 7-2 victory over the Maryland Black Bears. 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second, another one in the third period. Rochester, this one needed a shootout in the 3-2 victory over Johnstown, so it's 4 clean points for the Junior Americans over the Johnstown Tomahawks. And then New Hampshire did fall to the Maine Nordiques, but this one needed overtime, and Marshall McCharles, the overtime hero for the Nordiques. So it's a 2-point weekend for Maine, but a 3-point weekend for New Hampshire, who's trying to make up some ground in the standings. As we'll take a look now at your East Division standings, and it is Maryland still firmly in first place, 67 points, 14 up on the Maine Nordiques with 53 points. We mentioned Maine picked up a pair of that overtime victory over the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. Rochester 1 point behind them, and then there's a little bit of a buffer there. 8 points between Rochester and the Generals. Yes, the Generals have played one more game in hand. They have a game in hand over Maine, so we'll see if they can close the gap. They'll play every team in the East Division at least one more time. They don't have a season series that is completely finished against any of the other 9 teams in the East. Their next game will be against New Hampshire back at home next weekend. New Jersey's still 2 points back with a game in hand. So 4 games remain between the Northeast Generals and the New Jersey Titans. Johnstown failed to pick up more than a point this weekend, held at 41. Philadelphia 38. That is where the playoff line is. Philadelphia, Danbury, Elmira, and New Hampshire round out the 4 teams that are currently outside of the playoffs. But 3 big points this weekend for the New Hampshire Mountain Kings to try and creep a little bit closer to Elmira and then get back in towards the mix where you see Johnstown, Philadelphia, and Danbury. As that was your Friday and Saturday So I'll bring it back into the headquarters now, and we'll get to your highlights with the Friday night's loss and the Saturday night's victory. Prior to the weekend, though, it was the Northeast Generals that wanted to kind of shake up or more structure how they prepared for the home games, because on the road there was no woes at all. A 12-4-3 record for the Northeast Generals away from the Canton Ice House, but at the Canton Ice House, actually the lowest amount of points generated in the East Division, a 7-9 record in the East Division, just 14 points for, and they wanted to try and more mimic the preparation and day schedule from the road leading up to these home games. Talked to Brian Erickson about it, eating times, arrival times, doing things together. So far, that Friday night was a close game against Maryland, the back-to-back 3-1 losses going back to another game on December 12th, the last time these two teams met. But then Saturday, you kind of saw a lot more of a jump right out of the gates, just a lot more of a complete 60-minute effort. But first, we will start with the highlights of Friday night's 3-1 loss against the Maryland Black Bears, who ended up scoring 2 goals in the first period, starting with Owen Jury and his 7th goal of the season for Jury. Starts for the point from Sam Osei. It ricochets off the stick of Ryan Solari, and then on to the captain, Owen Jury, and in the back of the net for the 1-0 lead. Braden Wade then got credited with his 5th goal of the season, the 2nd goal of the game. And this is one that Will Mazanko is going to want back as the puck battle in the corner. Wade comes out with it along the goal line, and there you see it, banks it in off the Northeast Generals 20-year-old netminder in Mazanko. It was 2-0 at the time for the Maryland Black Bears. They ended up making it 3-0, dumping the puck in. Here's Tanner Duncan, number 24, who picked up an assist on this goal to stretch his point streak to 16 games. Has to be among the longest, if not the longest, in the North American Hockey League. It is Ryan Franks. At that point, his 20th goal of the season. He was not done that weekend, though. Added 2 more on Saturday. Look at the strength by Logan Poulin on the Generals' lone goal of the game in the 3-1 loss. Kid does it all. He'll pick up with an assist, but it ends up on the stick of Spencer Hirsch, who you're going to hear from a little bit later in the show, and he nets his 14th goal of the season for the Northeast Generals as they fall 3-1 to the Maryland Black Bears. Right out of Friday night's highlights, though, Generals did not get down on themselves, stormed the Canton Ice House on Saturday, and as we mentioned, 3 goals on Friday, 3 goals on Saturday. It was a rout, 7-2, the largest level of defeat for the Maryland Black Bears this season. No team has beat them by 5 goals, although they've only lost 5 games in regulation so far this season. There's Logan Poulin again. So he strikes his first goal out of 2 on the night, beating netminder Dom Gatto. Gens weren't done there. From behind the net, this is just the typical speed that you're used to seeing from Tyler Kelly. Picks up the puck from Ryan Solari behind the net, flies down the left wing. Kelly then chips it to himself, actually gets a fortuitous bounce off a shin pad of the defenseman before centering it to Finn Connor. 3 Generals with a pair of goals tonight. Connor was one of them. Here has to be the highlight of the night on the power play. Newcomer Beckett Hinchcliffe picks up his first point as a General, but it's just a beautiful tic-tac-toe passing play, or 4 passes. McKenna across, Hinchcliffe back door, and then sliding that one home was Finn Connor for his 2nd goal of the game and a power play marker. It was Ryan Franks. We said he wasn't done this weekend. He scored the Maryland Black Bears, or both the goals on the night. This one working off the wall. Franks, though, the big body in front. Puck gets sent down low, stick along the ice. Frank right behind Will Mazanko, 21st goal, and with that 21st goal, he takes over the team lead in goal scoring. Generals, as we move into the second period, though, had 3 more in the middle frame. I believe this one might be Braden Hudloff's. It's on a net front scrum. That's Hudloff down into the corner, centers it. Gatto's down. Nothing he can do there is banging away at it. Is Hudloff finds his 8th goal of the season. Generals weren't done there, though, in the second period as another power play. They finished the night 3 for 6 on the man advantage. Maryland was 1 for 3. But this will eventually work back up top to Logan Poulin, and it's one of the best releases in the league. There's his 2nd goal of the game, now 1 shy of the team lead of 16, held currently by Alec Hall. As Steven Fabiano picks up the rookie defenseman, his 6th goal of the year on this next play. Another board side battle as the Gens, they were hungry on pucks. They were winning battles all night long. Ends up onto the stick. There's Fabiano. Quick release again. Gatto out to the top of his crease. He has to be with his listed 5'6" frame, but wasn't quite set yet. Fabiano beat him. Generals then continue to pour it on. This one gets dumped in. It'll eventually work. Logan Poulin, who is busy on the night, forechecking, digs out a puck with help from Fabiano, and then finds Braden Hudloff. There's his 9th goal of the season, and the 7th one for the Northeast Generals. Maryland did add one more later in the third period to make it a 7-2 final. We mentioned it was Ryan Franks, his 22nd goal of the season. But overall, Northeast Generals, commanding victory, decisive victory, and for a team that was looking to try and find some home success, try and find a little bit of home confidence, that's a huge way to do it at home against the league's top team. As we're back in the headquarters now, 7-2 victory, the largest loss for the Maryland Black Bears this season, and you can give credit to the Northeast Generals for a full 60 minutes, making sure that they were the ones to do that and pick up a huge 2 points, staying up ahead of the New Jersey Titans in 4th place in the East Division. So that was your highlights, and now really happy, caught earlier today with Spencer Hirsch, 20-year-old graduating forward from the Northeast Generals. He was kind enough to take some time out of his day off, I guess you could say it. He had a little bit of a bang-up along the back wall on Saturday night's game. Never finished the game. Looks like he might be out for a week or two on the positive side of it. Shouldn't be anything long-term, but Spencer on the snow day joined us, and here's that interview with him coming up on the Debrief. Back with you and now joined, thank you very much, with Northeast Generals forward Spencer Hirsch, the first official interview here on the Debrief. Thanks a lot for doing this, Spencer. Really, really appreciate it. Obviously, we got a big snowstorm over the night, throughout Sunday, throughout Monday. You guys had some optional ice today. Was anyone actually able to make it down to the rink?
No, there was no plowing at the roads here, so everyone was stuck in.
Well, that's not bad. A day off after obviously a huge victory. Just quickly want to ask you, because you yourself crashed into the boards, top speed, got clipped down, went in pretty heavily. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I mean, still a lot of pain, but I'll probably be out for at least a week or two. So we'll see. I'll go see the trainer and see what he's going to have me do. Probably get an x-ray just to make sure nothing's broken.
The victory itself, though, 7-2 over the Maryland Black Bears. I know you only got to play in a portion of that game because of what you just mentioned, going heavy into the boards. But just kind of talking from the team perspective on that win, is it just another win, or did you guys feel that one a little bit more? Did it bring you, a sense of confidence or a sense of accomplishment, being as it was against the league's top team, a team that only lost 4 times in regulation prior?
Yeah, no, it definitely was a bigger win than normal. The boys just came out right away. You could feel it in the locker room, and everyone was in between periods. Everyone would just keeping the energy up, and it was just a different type of energy to feeling it than a normal game. And that it meant a lot to us after the game. But it was definitely a top win for us.
And competing against a team like that, they can come in with such a pedigree that it seems like it's more daunting than not. But what did you guys do so successfully to make it seem so convincingly that you were the better team that night?
I think we just came out and matched their energy. It was kind of a chippy game, but we started with pedal to the metal, and we just kept it like that the whole game for 3 periods, 60 minutes. So, I mean, it was a different style of what we're used to playing. So I think after seeing it on Friday, we got back to it on Saturday, and we just knew what to do, and we kept our heads down and just grinded.
You were with the team last year that had 19 wins, right? And now this team has eclipsed that mark with 20. You've beaten every team in the East Division except for one, the Maine Nordiques, so you'll play 3 more times. Just can you kind of sense from last year, moving through the first, quarter, first half of this year, into this belief aspect growing, and now confidence in beating the top team, just how is that kind of gradual increase in belief from yourself and just from what you've seen around the team from last year, this year, and now where you are at now with 20 wins?
Yeah, no, I think it comes with right within the locker room. You can feel it with the guys next to you. You can start to rely on them more. The guys are going to come through for you. They're going to have your backs. And when guys start producing, it's just easy to go around the room and say, okay, we have 25 guys who can produce on any night, and it's not kind of we're relying on certain guys like it's kind of was last year. We have a full roster that can put up points. We have a full roster that can, play hard, play our systems, and we're very thankful that we have a lot of brothers around us that we can just rely on.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, that you got a little banged up in this game. Hopefully, obviously, it's nothing serious. You said, short term, couple weeks, you should be back. But you were one of the players that was a mainstay throughout the lineup when the Generals were going through, massive injuries. Then you get a guy back and you lose some due to suspension. Do you feel that really, even though you just beat the league's top team, you've shown high capabilities of success that you haven't even really seen what the full capability of the team can be yet?
Yeah, that's exactly what we've been talking about, like battling through adversity. We haven't had a full roster yet, and being able to beat different teams on different nights with different guys in the lineups, as you said, due to injuries and suspensions, it's just all the more better for us. And our confidence keeps growing because we know that even with some guys out, we're still able to make progress. But once we have everyone back, probably our confidence is going to be through the roof, and we're going to know that everyone's back and we're ready to roll.
I mean, even for me, broadcasting the games, it's exciting for me to foreshadow and picture like, wow, when you get that guy slotted in, like this is going to be something, really special. Do you feel that kind of same excitement, knowing that it will come, barring any, hopefully not, knock on wood, an injury here or suspension there, but do you feel that same excitement that like once you get it, it's going to be fun to watch?
Yeah, really fun to watch. I mean, that's what we've all been feeling. We all been talking about it. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time, and I think it's gonna be something special.
Okay, before we get into your commitment, because that's why I brought you on as the first official guest of the debrief. Just once more about your season that you're having so far. You just eclipsed your career high in goals. You scored your 14th goal the other night. You're 3 shy of your career high in points. You still have 21 games in the regular season. The success you've been having, what do you mostly attribute it to from last year going to this year?
I think as I was saying before, just like the guys that we have in the locker room, I was playing everywhere in the lineup last year, but playing everywhere in the lineup this year is kind of different. The guys, I can rely on every guy in the room. I can play with every guy in the room. It's just easy. We kind of gel with each other. It's kind of just the off ice chemistry turning into on ice chemistry. And, on the ice, kind of just being in the right spots and working with the guys that I'm playing on a particular night. So, I mean, I can't take all the credit, but like it's just the brotherhood that we have in the room.
All right, so Williams College, right? That's where you've announced your commitment, a really prestigious school. First of all, the excitement to kind of not only get that off your shoulders, but just have that in your foresight about what you're going to do with your life, after the Northeast Generals.
I'm extremely excited about that. I've been working, everyone's been working their whole lives for a college commitment. And when you finally get that, it's just like obviously some sort of relief, but it creates some sort of excitement for next year. And you want to keep building on what you have going this year so you can go into college ready. And then obviously scholastically, they're an unbelievable program.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's also why I chose Williams because of what I have to offer both on the ice and off the ice. So it's just an incredible opportunity. And I'm so thankful that I was able to be offered.
Were there any other things that went into that discussion? Or into that decision, pardon me, were there other discussions that you had, some other ideas or options that you could be your landing spot? Did you take visits? Just kind of collectively, what all went together and you're like, let's go Williams. I think that's the right fit.
Yeah, I was talking to mostly NESCAC schools. Obviously, I was thinking about my scholastic part very highly because I was a good student. But it's just kind of the way that I got recruited, the relationship that I formed with the coach. The campus was very beautiful. The guys that I met on campus just seemed like the guys that I want to be around, So I think the relationships and just like that inner gut feeling just sent me over the edge. And that's when I knew that Williams was for me.
Well, first off, I'd like to say congratulations because, not only your hockey ability, but just looking into it, it's an extremely hard school to get into. So congratulations. We always wish you all the best, not only with the Generals, but moving forward as well. Before we wrap this up, I just want to have a quick couple rapid fire questions. They're more on the fun, lighter side. First thing that pops into your head, answer them, and then we'll just go from there and we'll wrap it up. So the first one, if you could steal one player's on the Northeast Generals unique skill set or unique attribute to add to your game, which player and which skill would it be?
Pull and shot release.
Cool. I thought you were going to say that, but then you also have a pretty good shot yourself. So I wondered if you would if you would say, my shot's good enough, I'll take something else, but you're still taking Logan Poulin's shot.
I was thinking about like maybe Finn or Kelly's speed, but yeah,
Yeah.
either one of those two, yeah.
So you guys all basically, pretty much live together at Curry College there. I don't want to have to single out someone too hard, but you're a veteran. Maybe you could do that. If there was one guy that you always kind of have to remind to like pick up their stuff and like don't leave that there and tidy up after him, who is that player?
Um, to be honest, there's a bunch of guys. I can't think of anyone on the spot, but like, we all have our faults. I don't watch people enough to see who actually moves their stuff around, but like, I'm sure everyone does it. So I do it too. So it's not fair to single anyone out, but I don't even think I could.
That's a veteran move anyways. Pretty sly. Final one, you got to watch out now because we are here in New England. Who's winning the Super Bowl, the Patriots or the Seahawks?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with the Seahawks. I know, not happy here for the people here aren't gonna like me, but I just see their defense, their offense, just domination. Last night, I know it was a close game, but you could just tell. And the Patriots, I watched their game. It's kind of a slower game because it was the snow, but I think the Seahawks still take it.
I would also agree. I don't think anyone's going to like this ending of the interview as we're both going against the Pats. Not that we're cheering against the Pats, just maybe picking against them. Really appreciate it, Spencer. Once again, congratulations on the commitment, on the season you've been having so far. Thank you for being the first guest. Hopefully you heal up pretty quick and we'll see you back on the ice soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, so a big thanks to Spencer Hirsch for joining us here, the first official guest on the Debrief. We'll have many more to come in the weeks to come, finishing up the regular season for the Northeast Generals, players, coaches, all the insight here on the Debrief as we continue throughout the final 21 games of the regular season. As we get set to wrap up the show, though, let's take a look at what is yet to come for the Northeast Generals. So here are the next few games for the Generals, starting with next weekend. They'll be at home, same with the weekend after. So a 6-game homestand will continue for the Northeast Generals. They'll welcome in the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. Mark the start time if you're planning on coming down on Friday to the Canton Ice House, a 1 p.m. matinee event on Friday. This will be the 4th meeting and 5th meeting, if I'm not mistaken, between the two teams, New Hampshire and the Generals. Generals have only won 1 out of the prior 4 so far, or the 5th and the 6th meeting. This will be Generals have won 1 out of the prior 4 between the New Hampshire Mountain Kings and the Gens. Then they'll remain at home. Philadelphia will come into the Canton Ice House, and then they'll wrap up the season series against the Maryland Black Bears, the only 2 games taking place there in Piney Orchard Ice Arena in Maryland. So that's what the Generals have coming up for them. We'll throw up your standings for you one last time. Just a little refresher. It is the Northeast Generals in 4th place. They are currently 8 points back of the Rochester Junior Americans. Still some games in hand, or still some games between those two teams. They got 3 games against the Maine Nordiques still this season. They got 4 games against the New Jersey Titans, who are only 2 points back of them. So huge, important games. 21 out of 59 still remain in the regular season, starting with the New Hampshire Mountain Kings, as the Generals will look to continue those home structured and hopefully foreshadowing the way the 7-2 victory was against Maryland, continuing next weekend, 1 p.m. on Friday and 7:30 on Saturday. That's good. Do it for us here as we'll bring it back to your headquarters one last time in the Debrief, 2nd official episode. Thank you so much for watching. The Northeast Generals 3-1 loss on Friday, 7-2 victory. Huge, though, defeating the league's best team in the Maryland Black Bears. They'll be back next weekend against New Hampshire, and we'll have another one, 3rd episode of the Debrief on the Monday following. Have a great day, everyone.